my fellow explorers. It's Miss Sheree here at the Northfield Library. This week, we are still celebrating Multicultural Month and other cultures. Today, we'll be reading a very fun story, and it's about a little girl named Amy, and she likes to cook a very specific food. It is called bao, and in this story, we'll see how she makes it. Let's get started. Amy Wu and the Perfect Bao. In this story, the author really wanted us to know how to pronounce bao. There's a kitten here and she tells us, bao like bow, not like bow that goes in your hair. Amy Wu and the Perfect Bao by Kat Zhang and illustrated by Charlene Chua. And here in this picture, we can see the bao is like a fluffy treat that's filled with something delicious. Amy can do lots of things. She can brush her teeth, she can tie her shoe, she can even do both at the same time. Well, sort of. But there's one thing that Amy cannot do. She cannot make the perfect bao. Sometimes they come out too small. Sometimes they come out too big. Sometimes she adds too much filling. Sometimes not enough. And sometimes they fall apart before they even reach her mouth. Amy's mom and dad make perfect bao. So does her grandma. Their bao are soft and fluffy and so delicious. Do you like to cook with your family? I do too. Amy could eat them all day. Sometimes she does. Today, Amy is going to do it. She's going to make the world's most perfect bao. Bao making is an all-day event. Amy's dad starts in the morning mixing together ingredients for the dough. Then it's time to knead. He pushes the dough. He punches the dough. Amy gives it a try too. They leave the dough to rise. Amy keeps an eye on it just in case. It grows bigger and bigger and bigger. Dough takes time to rise, and it looks like bao takes patience. There are lots of steps. Amy's dad squishes the dough down just in time. He rolls it into a log and cuts it into pieces. Meanwhile, Amy's mom seasons the meat for the filling inside of the bao. And it looks like there are lots of ingredients that go into this, including garlic, pepper and salt, mushrooms, and ginger. Sounds tasty. Everyone gathers around the table and rolls up their sleeves. It's time to get to work. Amy's first bao turns out a little funny. So does the second. Oh no, will she be able to make the perfect bao? Let's see. It's hard to know how much filling to add. Too little and the bao is sad and empty. Too much and whoops. It's also hard to pinch the bao shut just right. Pinch. Amy watches her mom make the perfect bao. She watches her dad make the perfect bao, and her grandma too. They all try to teach her. Roll the dough like this, says Amy's dad. Use just enough filling, says Amy's mom. Pinch, says Amy's grandma. Everyone's trying to help Amy. But Amy's bao just aren't the same. They're too empty or too fat, or they have holes in them and they leak. Maybe today won't be the day after all. Maybe Amy just can't make the perfect bao. Now Amy's upset. Do you think she can do it? Do you think she should give it one more try? I do. Then Amy has an idea. The pieces of dough were cut for grown-up hands, but Amy's hands are very small. She whispers her idea into her grandma's ear. Amy's grandma cuts each piece of dough into smaller pieces, Amy-sized pieces. Now they fit perfectly in Amy's palms. They're a great size for her. Carefully, Amy rolls the dough so it's thicker on the inside and thinner at the edges. She adds just the right amount of filling. She pinches it shut. And there it is, the perfect bao. She did it. She makes another, and even more after that. She's a bao making master. Soon, all the dough and filling are gone. Everyone is tired. Whew, that was an all-day event. But they're not done yet. Amy's grandma boils a big pot of boiling water. It's very hot. And it's time to steam the bao. Amy keeps an eye on the steamer, just in case. All her perfect bao, and all the imperfect ones too, are snug inside. The bao are done. Amy's mom lifts the lid off the steamer and whoosh, out comes a puff of steam. Amy can't see anything at all. The steam clears. There are Amy's perfect bao. They're not too small and they're not too big. They have just the right amount of filling and they don't leak. They are soft and fluffy and so delicious. Amy eats one, then another, then she eats one of the not perfect ones. And you know what? It tastes just as good. Look, it looks like Amy brought some bao to her classmates. They're all sharing it, even her teacher. What a great friend. And I'm sure it was great to listen to Amy explain how she made them. In the back of this book, just like the book we saw last week, Bilal Cooks Down, the author gave us the recipe of how to make the perfect bao. This is Amy's family recipe. If you would like to see this recipe or to check out how Amy made her perfect bao yourself, you can come to the library and check out this book. I can't wait to see you next week and share with you our next cultural treat. Bye-bye. You just finished reading Amy Wu and the Perfect Bao. Now it's time for your craft. If you have your brown paper bags, you can take out all of your items. Inside you will find a small pouch. It is yellow and it has 2 eyeballs and 2 pink cheeks. You'll also find a square peach skin color foam piece, and you'll also find a tracer for your bao and a magnet. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your piece of foam and you're going to take your tracer and you're going to trace your little bao bun onto the piece of foam. The best thing that you could use is a dark color so that you can see where you're tracing. So try and use a black marker or a pencil. I'm going to use a black marker and I'm going to go slowly around, holding one hand on the paper, so hold it steady, and the other hand is going to trace my bao bun. My little bao is going to go around and then the other side, taking my time. And get the end. And you want to try and make sure the bow is on the paper. And then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut this piece. So you're going to get your scissors out. You're also going to need your glue. And keep that black marker handy because we're going to need it. So we're going to take our scissors and slowly cut around our bow. We did that part. So now we have our own little bow. So the next part is that if you don't like these black parts around your bow, you can always flip it over and you can use that side. So I'm going to use this side of my bow, and then I'm going to take my glue, I'm going to pull that out. And your eyes. Now if you're having trouble peeling this little tiny sticker off the back of your eye, if it's too hard, you can ask a grown-up, or you can use your glue and just stick it right on. It is pretty tricky. So you're going to peel the little sticker part off the back of your eye. I'm going to stick it right on your bun. So I'm going to use glue for this eye. It's not really sticking very well. Put a little bit on the back, not too much. Just a dab will do ya. And I'm going to stick my eye there. Now I'm going to use my glue again and stick it on the back of this pink. One here, one there. Just a little bit. Put it there. I'm going to put this piece here. There we go. Now we have some nice pink cheeks for our bow. Now I also want to give my little friend a mouth. Now you can give them a smile, a frown, a line, a smile of teeth, whatever you want. I would suggest using a pencil first so that way you can decide what you wanted to draw first. The marker won't erase. So I'm going to give him a tiny cute little smile. And I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to go back over it. And trace right over that smile that I just drew. And there we go. So I can put a line on the top and make it a bigger smile. I can make it a frown. I can make it an angry line. But I think he's cute as he is. Now I'm going to go back to the top and just add a little detail. The little lines on the top of my bun. Now you don't have to do this. You can if you want. So since I have this part already done, I'm going to add a magnet to the back of my bow. And this magnet is found in your paper bag, and you're just going to peel the back off of it. There we go. And I'm just going to lift up my bow. And I'm going to take the sticky part of my magnet. You can feel it with your finger. It's pretty sticky. And I'm going to stick the sticky part to the back. And we're just going to stick it right there to the back. And now my bow has a magnet on the back, so I can put him on the fridge or anyplace else. So you made your own personal bow buddy. I hope you enjoyed this craft. I will see you next time.